All right, hope you're good. This is my budget air fryer, which I hope you'll agree has ended up being an absolute bargain, and we put it through some interesting things. Today, we're going to see if we can make some classic recipes in it. In fact, nearly pretty much everything is going to happen in there. So let's get going. Now, I'm fairly confident that pizza, this is fresh pizza dough. It's been in the fridge, slow ferment for 72 hours. I think this should work amazingly, but this is a fresh, raw dough. It really is at the limit of the rack that we're going to sit it on. And of course, this is 100% the importance of preheating the air fryer with something like this. It's creased it a little bit, but we're going for rustic, all right? We're going for rustic. And I love that I've got a little bump notch thing. Remember that little handle thing that I've got on the rack there? I normally put it on upside down. My reason for doing that is because I just forgot. However, my way around it is we will probably just sit it on some foil there to help lift it out, because we're going to part cook the base to help it. But I'm going to preheat that as hot as it can go for a couple of minutes. That should hopefully kickstart our dough. Alrighty. Oh, that's definitely cooked. Yes. No one wants a soggy bottom. We will spread on our tomato sauce. Oh yes, that is definitely charred. Parmesan. I could have warmed up that sauce in the bucket, couldn't I? Could have done that with some garlic. Cooked the garlic and then stirred through the sauce. Oh, my cheeky things. What did that even mean? We'll just go classic. Been making way too much pizza recently. Absolutely nailing that outdoor oven. So let's see if some of these oils release out of this pepperoni as it goes back in the bucket. Get in there, you beautiful thing. Right. This shouldn't take long. I'm going to say maybe like 4 or 5 minutes. The cauliflower cheese took way less. I keep forgetting that because you're cooking in a much smaller area, things cook faster. Ooh. Oh, I'm really happy with that. There is actually a light, almost browning. The mozzarella and the tomato merging, gentle bubbling, initial browning. I could push it a bit more, but I'm happy. It's like the first time I've ever done this. And don't get me wrong, frozen pizza, a ready-made pizza, even like the chilled doughs that you buy in a can that you twist, or, ready-made ones, would be way better than a fresh one like this where there's that uncertainty for me, that personal doubt. Is the yeast going to be good enough? Oh, thank goodness we preheated that base, because it has cushioned. And ultimately, more importantly, it's cooked it. But there's not that crunch from it. I've no doubt in my mind there's an air fryer pizza stone, or I could have just shoved a tile in there. But it works. So, very popular recipe this. See if you can guess what it is. No, it's not a block of butter. Well, that is a block of butter. This one's going to be a little bit quirky. It would not be a Barry video if we didn't do something quirky, and that's the next one after this. But even this is kind of fun. Here we go then. Some nice melted butter. And this might give it a massive hint. This is a mix of castor and light brown sugar. We're adding some vanilla extract. An egg with an extra, egg yolk. Now, someone once told me that if you hit a chicken with a stick, it lays a double yolker. And you remember when you sort of like share a story, because you're like, yeah, that's believable. And it's quite a quirky fact. No one's going to like question it. Well, a very young teenage Barry believed that for a while. Flour, plain flour. Bicarb of soda. Here we go. If you've not guessed it, we are making chocolate chip cookies from scratch in the air fryer. Absolutely bonkers. In you go, mate. Don't be scared. Cookie dough made in an air fryer bucket. Okay, so I'm preheating the bucket. I've made some perforations in some baking parchment just to let it still vent. I'm going to use my foil lip thing just because I can. Yeah, take a table tennis size ball. Random fact for you, they changed the size of table tennis balls. I used to be quite good at table tennis. I haven't played for years. They increased the size of them to slow the game down. And it was blooming awkward at first. I don't know if they've made them any bigger since, but hey-ho. That's enough table tennis facts for today. But let me just lower these in. Oh, wow. I reckon I could get another 1 or 2 on there. I could get 4, but let's see how much they expand. In you go, my pretty. And those foil handles are genius. Ooh, they look good. Certainly not much batter showing. Maybe a touch crinkly. But, yeah. And it's amazing because we rolled them up quite thick as well. So if we were a bit worried about them not cooking through, which I'll tell you now, you could always make them thinner, I suppose. Oh, the bottom is cooked through, but it's more delicate. It's not been exposed. Oh, but the top. Wow. Extremely chewy, almost like it's been caramelized. A lot of people kind of like those sort of gooey vibe cookies, and there's something really nice about this, how you've got that crispness. A lighter crispness on the bottom, And then that warmed, freshly baked cookie dough vibe in the middle where it's not like rock hard. It's just kind of like that sort of semi-balance between completely baked through and like a tender, gooey cookie. That's worked an absolute charm. I don't know if I'll do it again because you're literally making 2 at a time. Like I say, it works, but yeah, I think the oven would. I have got a sheet of short crust pastry here. And like, you know what? Part of me did think, do you know what? Yeah, I can make the pastry in the actual air fryer bucket itself, but that would have taken absolutely hours. Actually, if I use this as a template, there we go, nice. So we know that this roughly fits, but if I pull that back around, I could use that as a sort of marker to create a fairly consistent, notice I use the word fairly, border to go around the edge of the pastry. Not too high because we are going to need quite a lot of apples to even fill that, but I just want to see if this works first before we even get to this step. I don't think it's going to win any awards for the prettiest pie, but this could work. Whilst that's air frying, whoever you are, wherever you are in the world, in fact, let me know if you fancy, let me know in the world where you are from. I'll be really interested to know. Thanks for watching, and I hope this works. I've got good news and bad news. The good news is it's worked. The bad news is there's a massive crater in it. So I'm going to have to like just plug it with some more pastry a minute. Almost like some filler. And you know what? Baking beads would have been absolutely brilliant. And I guess it's the same principle. It's still an oven. So really, yeah, do that. These should stop our patch repair puffing up. But the rest of it around the sides, that has actually like come away slightly. So we should be able to lift out a base that can cool down whilst we make the filling. But let's just see this is all right. Okay, Koki. Oh, that's better. There we go. So this can just sit there. I'll get the beads out and we can put the filling in it like that, or we could do it in there. It doesn't really matter. So we've already proved the cauliflower, we can soften that up in the water, and we could stew the apple. We could warm the water up, stick apple pieces in. However, it's quite nice to have apples that aren't always softened too and just mix them with your fillings, which is what we'll do in there. We are going to get some more lemon juice. This is just the juice of half a lemon. Caster sugar. I was going to use like 4 apples. I'm just going to peel the apple, and the minute we expose it, it's going to want to turn brown. But that's where that acidity from the lemon will kind of prevent that from happening. Fun little gadget we've had for blooming years. She's actually really, really good for making potato wedges. Into our lemony sugar mix. So I'll do like 3 more apples, like I say, and that should be enough. So just before we clean this out, because we're going to have to take the apples out to get the pie back in, we go for some vanilla extract. I love the fact that we've put the lemon in to stop it turning brown, and now we've just coated it in cinnamon anyway. Right, I'll get this filled up. Oh, that is nice and full. Got some pieces of cube butter here. I'm literally have no idea why we do this to an apple pie, and right now my hands are too messy to Google, but my nan used to always make apple pie and do this. Awesome. So now we could do like a lattice, or we could do a whole lid on top. I think I'm going to go a whole lid. Oh, wow. There we go. So I've just added some letters on top to remind itself that it is a pie, and actually tell the air fryer that it is a pie, because I do not think it's going to look like this once it goes in. In fact, I've got an egg yolk here, which is going to enhance the golden colour on it. And I don't know if I want to rush that too much, but at least we know the base is done. It's all about this. Oh, my word. Get in there. Ugh. Ah. Pie. I think that foil is going to save me there, because getting that out will be an absolute nightmare. And there are some like silicone things you can buy that have got handles on that are way better than that. I'm just going to shimmy on some sugar. Right, let's get this going. All right, that has been 15 minutes. Check that out, pie. The side crust, can you see? It looks like it was when I put it in, but I can confirm that is firm and cooked. It's just not been exposed like we talked about before. Like our pie. Give me my pie. Oh my, yes. Oh, the cinnamon soaked right in. Oh, extremely nice. And the apples are surprisingly softened for that short amount of time in there. The yolk's giving it the golden colour, but that sugary crunch from that top layer. The apples are surprisingly softened, and the cinnamon vibes running through it. Slight zing of lemon too. Absolutely amazing. Now, I've saved a real classic for the end. Oh, Alan, you've had a good day today, haven't you? Blimey. Let's get some oil in you for the last time. Let's dump some beef mince in. Oh, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. because we're going to make spaghetti bolognese. All right, so there we go. I'm just going to keep stirring this up. Look at that, where it's been exposed. See, this is what we're finding today with these air fryers. So where it's not exposed, obviously it's still pink. So we'll just keep going, shimmy that round. Beautiful. And whilst I was cooking, I was thinking to myself, well, spaghetti. Will spaghetti fit in Alan's bucket? No. No, it won't. The annoying thing is obviously when you're cooking it on a hob, once it cooks, it softens down and pulls down so you can get longer pieces of spaghetti in it. I can't really do that with the air fryer unless I go in and out like that, but then it could touch the heating element. Small spaghetti it is, or just use pasta sheets, or just standard shaped pasta. Hands. Oh my word, look, you can see, oh, it's starting to char. Oops. You can see how bendy that spaghetti is. All right, I'm not even going to really clean that out. I mean, it's fairly nice. It's just pasta water. In fact, I've got a little bit left over. I'm just going to add some in just for the banter. Also got some frozen chopped garlic here, which is really useful if you don't want to smell. That's not genuine life advice, by the way. If you do a lot of sport, take a shower. But hopefully we could get the beef mince in. Oh, there we go. Let the sauce coat our pre-cooked beef, which is drained off a little bit healthier. Beautiful. So I'm just going to warm this through whilst our pasta gently waits over there. This is all 160C, all right? I'm tired, guys. So this last bit, that's nice and warmed, is purely for presentation. Well, this is the spaghetti that I've kept warm. Oh, let's dollop some of that down. It smells incredible. That garlic has really packed a punch. It's been quite a workout in this kitchen today, folks. And I've got favourites that we've done, I must admit. A spaghetti bolognese made entirely in an air fryer. That beef. It's kind of like when we cook chicken in an air fryer, how juicy it goes. I remember that kitchen towel took a lot of that fat out. It is so tasty. Shiver me timbers. We've done it, folks. Because we're actually going to make a drink, because I just prop Hugh up, there we go, in the air fryer. Pumpkin spice latte. So silly. Now I was going to get a big mug here that I could pour into a smaller one, but this is my standard smaller mug. And even that, with the basket out of it, might be too small. Yeah, I was going to get this mug because it actually says on the bottom, dishwasher and microwave safe. Doesn't say air fryer safe for some reason. But instead we've got this little dainty mug here. And that will be okay. Yeah, even as I've started doing these steps, I'm like, yeah, this definitely should have been the worst one first up. So this is some cold milk. So it's 3 parts milk to 1 part brewed coffee, vanilla. This is some pumpkin puree. I'm only going to put in like maybe a teaspoon, but you can put in a lot more. Sweeten it with some sugar if we want. I'm definitely going to do that. It looks kind of latte-ish at the moment. It's got a nice little pumpkin hue to it. I mean, obviously it's just brown. I don't know where I get that from. But anyhow, this is some pumpkin spice. Bought this in the shop. It's just past Halloween, so it was on offer. They never used to sell it in the shop. Halloween stuff's getting crazy. I saw a car wash the other day that had pumpkin spice foam. Can't wait for Christmas when they do a turkey flavoured one. Anyhow, let's try and do this from here. Oh, wow. Okay, this is working. This is working. I've just got to delicately... Come on. Oh, I'm just waiting. There's going to be some sort of kick, isn't there? Oh, this bit, I need to push it gently. So if you forgive me, we are now about to air fry a latte. Okay, I've just Googled it, and the ideal temperature for coffee to be brewed at is between 91 and 96C. How low did this go again? Ooh, we can do 95C. Yes, Hugh. Oh my gosh. Oh no. Well, get a load of that spillage in there. And actually, to be fair, yep, that is really hot. It does smell blooming good though, I'll give it that. We've just got to get it out of here without burning our hands. Oven gloves in. Oh my word. Yep. And the shelf of Hugh that was not used has become a very cool platform right there now. That actually does look. That looks all right. Oh, some more pumpkin spice sprinkled on. Cheeky little thing that. Why do I not hate this again? It's ridiculous. Don't do this. Ooh. Oh, that's lovely. I bloomin' love a McDonald's rib. In fact, they are actually available right now in the UK. This is a genuine story. I actually went and bought a McRib the other day and filmed it. Yeah, do you sell the McRibs yet?
Yeah, that's fine. Do you want that as a meal or on its own?
Just on its own. I actually don't know why. I was like, yeah, I'll just buy this and film it, and then I'll do something with it. I was thinking maybe doing a giant McRib perhaps, but I bought it. So I've got like a McRib box, and I put it in my freezer. This is absolutely legit. This is a frozen McRib, but they've had some pretty negative reviews. Basically, one of the complaints was that they don't cook it fully drenched in the barbecue sauce. We can get over that. The other was that the patty didn't seem to have the indents what the McRib stereotypically did. So whilst that's been cooking away, just a minute ago, I took some pork mince that I'd sort of mixed together with a little bit of seasoning and shaped it. Now that's gone back in the fridge just to firm up and set so we can cook it in there once our cake is been well done. But as for this, if you guys have got any, maybe I should just, I was saying to Patreon, maybe I should just keep hold of this. Go to a McDonald's like when they don't do McRibs again and be like, yeah, I just bought this, but something doesn't taste right about it, and see what their reaction. Or like I say, I could use it as like a benchmark for making a giant McRib, which would probably be my dream video if I'm being honest. So with a McRib, you have an onion. You also have that classic McDonald's gherkin, but that's just a sliced pickle really. But the onion doesn't get cooked either. It literally has raw, longer pieces of onion like that. Well, it did originally. My example of the latest batch is cryogenically frozen. That's a strong onion. Ooh, getting emotional over my McRib. Yeah, there we go. There's some gherkins as well, straight from a jar. And we will actually try and toast the buns in the air fryer. Okay, look. Ooh, nice sizzle, Hugh. Gonna take that out. Ugh. Look at the colour on that. And this is one of the things that people were complaining about, right? The McRib that's come back, it looks like it's just brushed with barbecue sauce rather than actually cooked in it. We've got the perfect platform for that. And get a load of this. Look, if I just fully coat it, see with the sugar content in barbecue sauce, it's not going to take long to warm this up, but I want to submerge it. Very excited right now. So let's go for 5 minutes. The pork's kind of covered, so hopefully it won't brown too much more, but it's going to warm through, take on those flavors. And on a personal note, this really should be my favorite today. All right, that is a drenched McRib patty there. And I was mulling over going, oh, do I make it a bit smaller? Do I slice it? But I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to go all out like that. Oh my word. It's fitted it perfectly. Couple of pickles and then some of the raw onion, not much. I was going to wipe that little blob of barbecue sauce, but I realised I don't think it matters because like it wants to run down anyway. Look at that. A homemade McRib in an air fryer. I just tried to take a picture for my thumbnail holding all this and it all nearly spilled over. I don't know if I captured that. Oh. Actually, I think the gherkins and the onions play a role. They kind of give it some crunch. I love how I've actually got a genuine one in my freezer. And that barbecue sauce is just cloaked and actually was still quite warmed. The patty, which is not too thick. You need to make sure, like when you make homemade burger, don't make it like too thick, otherwise it's gonna be really heavy. Oh, good. To make the potatoes as fluffy as possible, we boil them. Ah, that's hot. I thought I'd just sort of show you what you do is by having it slightly fluffy, you create these almost like sharper glass-like edges, I guess. That's what I'm gonna say, glass edges. That doesn't, no one wants to eat glass. But the fluffy potato is locked in, but we're gonna double crisp these up. These aren't done yet. But of course, the worry with that, especially with the air fryer, is with them being so delicate and them just bubbling around, in the air fryer, I have to stir them. Look, this one has still got a fluffy middle. It looks more like a canoe. But of course, I'm still gonna fry that. So as I put these back in my freezer, so while they're in the freezer for a minimum of an hour waiting for that final fry, let's roll it right back to make those chips for the air fryer so we completely understand what's going on here. Okay, so these are the same potatoes that those potatoes, which are still potatoes, are they chips yet? At what point do they become chips? I think they're chips now, right? Anyhow, this is what these once were. These are Maris Piper potatoes. In certain countries, you might not get them called this. It's basically quite a starchy potato, and it's quite a good way of showing that. I could actually peel it as well, but I'm feeling like being lazy today. Well, I don't know if it is lazy. I just quite like having the skin on sometimes, so there might be, as we saw on those other ones, the odd trace of potato skin on there. But I'm trying to get 3 fat credit cards, and I should be able to get 3 out of each of these credit cards. So this to me is where these are chips and not fries. I don't know how that translates into America, if they're all the sort of same thing, but you'll see why these are starchy potatoes in a moment, okay? But can you see on the knife there, I'll try and get the reflection right. You see all that dried on there? The moisture on here too, that's got a lot of starch in it. We want to get rid of that because starch is gummy. When you're frying chips, it's like the enemy. It can really affect the crispiness, so this is how we get it off. Let's just fill that up with water. If I do this, look how cloudy that water is, okay? So, if we just run it under the tap a few times and keep disturbing it like this until the water's clear. There we go. And actually, as you boil them, some more starch might come to the surface. There we go. There's these little starch puddles. If I really wanted to get them all out, I will take that one out now I've got you. I'm not that fussed. However, such is the intensity of Heston Blumenthal's research into this recipe. To find the ultimate way of like getting the moisture out of these potatoes for the thrice cooked method, he actually tried pin pricking them, microwaving them, dehydrating them, but ultimately stumbled upon this method in the end. In fact, I've got nothing else to do right now. So I am just going to scoop up that extra starch. I mean, you do not have to do that. It's proper overkill. But it is fun. It's kind of therapeutic. It's kind of like, yeah, I'm going to earn these chips. Don't get me wrong. The best recipe for it is if someone else cooks it for you. All right, let's go. Look, you can see there is a nice fluffy edge to that. But these potatoes are delicate. So as one batch of potatoes journey begins, another one will conclude. So I'm just getting tucked back up, this time to 180C. And look, there they are. In fact, you can see the color difference slightly, although this should look a little bit different in a moment. But I've only got one board that'll fit in my freezer, so these are basically going on there, and these will go on another board like this. In you go, my friend. Yeah, so they'll be visiting the air fryer with the duck fat in about an hour. However, for the time being, these have now got an appointment with the 180C fryer tuck. Hot. Let's go. Oh yeah, that's angry. So this is that final step. Of course, like we said, you could have made them well in advance, like we talked about, and fried it in about a month's time to surprise all your guests, or just have them to yourself. Let's see what they taste like. If it all goes downhill from here, at least this should be rather delicious. Let's get them out. Push them to the colour you want. I'm just quite hungry now. Oh my word. I don't know if you can hear the sizzle. I just held that up and hopefully you can hear the sizzle. You see, even the ones that were like obliterated, you can see where the oil has sort of soaked in even more. So that's going to be like proper crunchy. And to be honest, I hope I'm not the only person, but when I have a portion of chips, sometimes my favourite ones are like those little crunchy like offcuts at the bottom. They're really good, aren't they? Really should have made more fries. This is a massive bowl, but I think these sort of bowls enhance it a little bit more. For these, I'm just going to like sprinkle on a little bit of salt. If the air fryer ones work, we might just go a little bit different with it, just as a different coating. By doing that, I have probably broken one or two. Honestly though, look at the colour on them. Just gorgeous. And all foods are just a very personal thing. People are like, they're not the best chips I've ever seen. Even someone local to me be like, here Barry, they're all right, but they're not as good as Mr. Chippy up in Kingswood. Sorry, that's a very, very local reference, and hopefully that doesn't exist, that place. Let's try. You must have heard that crunch. A perfect square of fluffy potato. There it is. Absolutely bonkers. Fluffy. Lighter crunch to lock in that fluffiness, and then the golden crunch on the side there. And just to show you one of these ones where it's split open, this should be even crunchier. Oh, they're the cheeky ones, those crunchy ones. I think that's probably why I like them, because all the oil has really got on that. Right then, Hugh, no pressure. But this was generally 20 quid, and it does the job for certain tasks. Obviously, it can't dehydrate stuff. And apart from the tippy bucket, which I think my trivet can help prevent, it should be okay. I actually think that duck fat, oh my word, has a lower smoke point than some oils. I think than other animal fats as well. Apparently beef fat is a really good one to use too. Beef tallow, they sometimes call that. And why this over groundnut oil? I think it's just flavour, like if you want that. It's just a fat of your choice that you want to cook in, but it is sometimes considered luxurious, adds a different sort of flavour. However, for this first part, and boy, am I going to need kitchen towel at the end if this does work. The really cool thing is that we can actually set to warm to 130C, like Tuck did, in there to warm the duck fat up. I guess we'll just skim over the fact that as I open the door, the temperature is going to drop by the second, but hey ho. Obviously, I'm aware this goes against nearly everything an air fryer should be. Maybe I should use like a teaspoon of duck fat oil and hopefully it just mixes around, or even if there's some duck fat oil spray, I just genuinely want to see if we can pull this off. So basically, Hugh and I are going for maximum coverage. However, if it's really bad for the second fry, I could always put a lot less in. We'll see. In fact, why don't I do both? 130C, baby. Let's get some spuds. Now, I'll use only a few of these, like I say, and then we can try it again with just a little speck, or maybe like a few tablespoons of the oil. 130C for 5 minutes is literally what it tells me to do. And remember, that's in an air fryer. A much more, actually, no, is that a more intense space than a fryer? Probably not, is it? It is compared to an oven, as we found out. Is this going to work? Who knows? Oh, if you missed the video where we discovered Hugh, it was basically named because it was called Homcom, so Romcom, Hugh Grant. I know it doesn't really make that much sense. Some of you guys were actually saying Homcom is quite a respectable brand and they do like your furniture as well, so they're like obviously quite diverse. But it has just passed 5 minutes. I've increased the timer because not much appears to be happening. It's definitely warm. I'm just worried that those potatoes are going to disintegrate. So I do feel right now that I'm deep frying in an air fryer, you know? So I think we will do a much smaller amount of fat and just shimmy them delicately. Okay, I've got 1 minute left. I don't even see that. Yes, 1 minute left. What did this be? Press the button. Damn you, Hugh. That has had 19, about to have 20 minutes in there. And it's just the lightest color ever. So you can probably see there, it's frying it, isn't it? It definitely is. And it started to fall apart, but I feel like I've almost sort of soaked them. Okay, so they are still firm. I was worried that they were just literally going to fall apart. Oh, that one did. Oh no. I don't think putting them in a lot of oil is a good idea. These have been in the freezer again. And rather than pouring some in, even though I can see there's a little bit that's sort of gone to one end, can you see that at the bottom? Oh my gosh, they're sliding. If I just brush each bit, and obviously that will run off and stay in the bucket and hopefully blow around air fryer style. I've set it to 15 minutes, so 5 minutes less. I generally think this will work better. So yeah, maybe I shouldn't have tried to turn the air fryer into a deep fat fryer. It should get the crunch, but will it bake the center? That's the only problem. Okay. I don't know if you can hear it. Probably not, but that is way stronger. It's got a nice coating on it now. A very, very light crispy outer, but they're holding their shape much more. So again, these are going to go in the freezer with our other batch that we just submerged in a massive, massive duck fat vat. Duck fat vat. Nice. So I think we've answered our own question there. Classic air frying style with a little bit of oil in an air fryer. Who would have known? It does actually work way better than submerging it in the oil. So for the final fry at 180C, I might even push it to 190, we'll see. We'll see, no pun intended. 180, 190C. We'll see. Oh, I'm stuck in a loop now. See what I've done? Just before they go in, this back row is actually made up of the ones that were fully submerged in the oil, and you can sort of see how more damaged they are. I mean, there's one or two here that are, where we just had that much little amount of oil, but that is a crazy difference. But they all do have it. It's quite hard to see it on the camera, just this very, almost like a tree kind of look, where there's like this skin, this sort of light bark, very, very light coating that's formed. It doesn't need it, but we kind of had it to one side anyway. I'm just going to drizzle on a little bit more of that duck fat. I really hope this works. The fryer option is feeling way, way safer right now. So, I'm going to put 15 minutes just to give it some slack. 180C. Let's see. I did it again. The C, a pun with C's. Let's see. Can't wait to find out what happens. You hear that? I can see it's starting to colour. It's not quite at the shaky territory yet. I'm not going to risk that. Mashed potato for everyone. But we are getting there. So hopefully next scene you'll see is shaky. I can shake them around now, baby. They might even be done. They smell really cheeky. Got the wire rack out again, just because that can catch that little bit of oil in there. Fantastic colour, very hot. That has turned out blooming awesome. Oh, you cheeky thing. Just like a lovely colour on them. So rather than just sprinkling these in salt, I went to a restaurant in London which was also Michelin starred, and they made these amazing fries that had rosemary on. This is the same bowl I shook the chips up in earlier, and yes, for confirmation, I did eat them all. So I'll chuck in some salt. Here's that garlic powder, freshly chopped rosemary, pepper, and some grated parmesan. Here we go. That's going to give even more flavour. Oh, sorry if this is a little bit out of focus, but these look absolutely sensational. I don't want to hold them for too long because I don't want to go too cold. Mmm! Oh, that seasoning. Wow. Oh my word, that is incredible. We've got that fluffy middle. I really thought it was going to be baked through and sort of like firmer, but no. You can taste the difference in the fats and the oils. However, I can't really actually identify which one was the first batch that we actually semi-deep fried in an air fryer. We didn't need to do that. In fact, it was harder to do it that way. It made it more fragile. Oh my word. Oh, the crunch is there. The fluffy middle is there. I think it works. And remember, we use far little fat in that, so that is actually a darn sight healthier.